And yeah, that's basically it, I guess.
That's all we got, so you know.
Hi, I'm Garcia.
I'm Telly.
And we are the HerCastleGirls. Today we are taping our podcast, which is called It's All Connected by HerCastleGirls, a mindful and intentional living podcast where we just talk about life and always tie things back to mindfulness. And we really hope if you love conversations like these, you'll go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. We'd love to have you.
It's something that everyone has gone through. Everyone can relate to this. This is not new, but yet as common as it is, it's something that's very hard to embrace. We're talking about forgiveness.
Yes, we are talking about the process of forgiveness. So we're going to get into this topic right now. We're really hoping that you can walk away with an understanding of what forgiveness truly is and how you really do need it in your life to progress. Today we are talking about a process which is very hard for the human being to understand and to go through, and that process is that of forgiveness. Yes, today we are going to talk about forgiveness, why it's important to forgive, how to forgive when someone hasn't apologized, and the idea of ending a life chapter, ending a relationship, kind of cord cutting, when the relationship with the person might be done. So let's get into this overtly complicated conversation. So I'll start.
Okay.
The reason why I wanted us to talk about this was because I saw this really great post by millennial therapist.
Okay.
And one of the Instagram posts, it says, "I forgive you and underline, I want us to move forward. I need time to heal. I still don't trust you. I need you to show me that things will be different. I don't want to have a relationship with you." So that was the post, and it had me think a lot about how we've, as humans, how we've always processed the idea of forgiveness and what it means.
Right.
You know, like there's that saying that's like, forgive and forget. But when we look at that, I don't know, for me now,
Right.
even though I haven't been on earth for like 80 years,
Right.
you know, I still consider us to be young.
Right.
We're still learning every day.
Oh, yes.
But I feel that forgive and forget is actually somewhat of a bit of a toxic.
Oh, absolutely, it's toxic. It's funny, as you were reading the, I forgive you, and then like almost like a fill in the blank kind of thing, I was thinking, the word forgiveness now is more like an ultimatum. It's like, okay, I forgive you, but what are you going to do about it? Like, it's either you change your way or we just end it right now. The whole forgive and forget, like, some people have gone through some severe things, Car, where to forget what they did, it's kind of hard to do. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I know for me, you know me, girl, I'm a Gemini. I don't forget.
I don't think it's healthy to forget either.
I don't forget. I don't.
Yeah,
I'm a work in progress.
like,
But I do not forget.
I'm sorry. I think the idea of forgetting, how is that going to help you to remember for the next time? Because things are going to happen again.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nothing is going to stay like, oh, this is never going to happen again.
Absolutely.
I mean, it will. And how are you supposed to learn from something if you forgot it happened?
Right.
In that sense.
No,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, because, you live, you learn. So if you just say, okay, let bygones be bygones with this person, or you cut the cord with that person, but you meet a new person who's either a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever that person is, you have a relationship with this person, and they start dropping patterns of the thing you just went through, and you're just gonna, ignore it? Like, you're gonna pretend that you never were privy to this before?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of redundant.
And along with that, the idea of forgiveness is a way for you to almost kind of press the reset button.
Oh, I agree.
Right? And you can say, I forgive you.
Yeah.
And you can inject that boundary.
Absolutely.
That you should have injected in the beginning. I forgive you, and what are you going to do to help yourself to learn from this situation and not do it again?
Right.
I forgive you, and I think we need to spend some time apart so I can go away and heal, and I hope you do the same thing too.
Right.
These are all very healthy. I think that's so much healthier than saying I forgive you and I'm gonna forget about it. You know?
Thank you. I agree with that 100%. I think it's silly to think otherwise.
Yeah, like remember The Hills, and remember when
that famous
Lauren,
line. Lauren and
some of you might be too young to know, but go find The Hills. Heidi, she totally basically ruined the young life of Lauren through talking and just being very toxic as a friend.
Very toxic.
And the line was that Lauren Conrad said was, I forgive you, but I want to forget you. And in a sense, that was a boundary. That was saying, I forgive you, but we're not going to be friends anymore.
That's it.
We are not going to talk anymore.
Yeah.
We're not going to hang out. We're basically done.
Yeah.
And that was the first time in kind of our generation that we had heard someone forgive in that way.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, sure, it was seen as petty, but now I think after all of us have grown up a bit and we've all experienced life, we see that we're like, actually, I understand where Lauren Conrad is coming from.
It's funny too, because when she said that, I didn't find it petty. I know a lot of people were like, oh, Lauren, you should give people chances. But because, using them as a great example, they were friends for a long time.
Yep.
So to have her be stabbed in the back by someone that she really trusted, you know, she trusted Heidi. They were such close friends until Spencer came in and basically poisoned Heidi's mind.
Right.
And turned two great friends against one another.
Yeah.
And when Heidi was trying to, you know, make amends, Lauren did make amends in her way. She put up a boundary and she chose herself rather than put her trust back into this person. Because even if she did, they would never have what they had before. It was already self. There was nothing left. It was clearly done and done.
Yeah.
So I find that that's a whole other level of self-love. Looking at that person saying, look, yo, you hurt me.
Yeah.
And it sucked.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm bigger than this. I'm gonna take the high road.
Yeah.
I forgive you. But let me tell you right now,
I don't need to speak to you again.
We don't have to say hello to each other.
Right.
Well, yeah, we can be cordial if we're in the same space, but we don't have to be chummy.
Right.
And that's fine.
It kind of reminds me of the whole, you know, like Chris Rock and Will Smith situation.
Perfect example,
right?
Yeah.
Recently, Will Smith came on camera and apologized to his family, apologized to Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And Chris Rock has basically said, you know what? I don't need to speak to Will Smith. I don't need to, I've moved on from this.
That part.
So he's done his forgiving and he's like, listen, I've moved on and I no longer actually need to be this person's friend and I'm just moving on.
That's it.
And I think, like, I want to get a bit into why it's important to forgive. Because a lot of people are like, why do I need to forgive? I just want to be angry at this person or this situation for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's important to forgive because not forgiving, it actually stunts personal and emotional growth.
Oh, that's true.
You can't get past anything when there's a blind or a fence in front of you, right?
Yeah, I see that, for sure.
Right? How are you supposed to move along? And then the other thing is it blinds us from seeing clearly or feeling clearly. It's going to infect everything you do because you didn't go ahead and work through that process of forgiveness. Forgiveness is, as we know, the first step to that healing process.
It is.
Right?
It is, definitely. You know, and that's the thing. I know it hurts too. No one likes getting hurt. And some people have been through, like we were saying earlier, some people have been through some really downright bad things. They've been done bad. Humans can be very crappy sometimes. Got it. But on the flip side, you can't live there. Forgiveness isn't even really about that person. It's more about you.
It's about you.
you have to forgive for your own well-being. Otherwise, like you were saying, Car, you're going to be stuck in this time, you're stuck in like a time warp almost.
Yeah.
Where you're always just going around in a circle.
It's Groundhog Day.
Exactly. Groundhog Day. You're going around in a circle constantly. You're never getting over it. And you're just stuck there. And when people try to come into your life, you just kind of put up that guard because you're like, oh, well, that one person hurt me. So you're the same. You don't even give that person the chance to say hi.
Right.
Like, it's part of therapy. You have to forgive.
I think of the idea of most people saying, well, I'm not going to forgive because they never apologized. And I'm like,
girl.
Yo, it's kind of like what you just said, right?
Yeah.
The forgiveness piece is not really for them. It's for you. It's for you. It's for your heart. What we have to realize as humans is that there are certain things that we do, a part of our behaviors, that actually work as kind of rituals or routines to help us move to another chapter or do another thing.
Right.
The process of forgiveness, when we say, I forgive you, it actually starts a process of, we mentioned, healing. And it starts that process of being able to see clearly so we can either see boundaries that need to be set or see how this relationship will move forward.
Exactly.
And that might look like saying, yeah, we're never going to speak to each other again. I wish you the best in life.
That's it.
But we are done.
Right.
Or it looks like these are the things that we're going to do as friends, as business partners, as a couple, whatever it is, to make this process work and we can continue to have some sort of friendship or relationship.
Right.
And it's almost like, as you know, we have this thing in spirituality where it's about cord cutting.
Oh,
you know, and you go through a process of cutting the cord between you and a situation, you and a person, and it's kind of like ending a life chapter.
Yeah.
And in order to move on to the next step, in order to be uplifted, you need to go through that forgiveness. And it stands true to anyone that's ever been through a traumatic experience.
Oh dear.
Where, you know, maybe they're in therapy and they just can't get that breakthrough that they need. But the breakthrough happens when they even write an imaginary letter.
Even that.
To the person that violated them.
Absolutely.
Or to their inner child.
Yeah.
You know, and they say to their inner child, you know what, I am so sorry that you had to go through that.
Right.
And I forgive whomever for what happened. That simple step can totally change the journey of that person.
Oh gosh, can it ever? And it's funny because once again, something very simple. Because, like, you know, when you, like, I have a tip my hat, like most people, to anyone that's a victim of sexual abuse or rape. It's not easy.
No, the violation of someone's space and body
is horrific. I commend these people because a lot of them, you know, they say, you know what happened to me was wrong, and it clearly was. And that they have the bravery to say what happened was wrong, but you know what? I forgive you. And you can even hear, like, I can hear even now in my head the gasp. Like when parents have to go to court. Because they're...
And speak to the murderer
that killed their child or their family member. And they're reading their words to this murderous person. They look the person in the eye and they find somehow, find strength to say, you know what you did was, you've changed my life. You've turned it upside down. I'll never be the same. But I have to move forward. What you did and what happens here today in this court will never bring my loved one back, but I have to move forward. So guess what? I forgive you.
Yeah.
And
it really moves the nervous system,
girl,
to go ahead and find that strength to say that you forgive someone for doing something that has moved your life in such a horrible and negative way.
Absolutely.
But again, it's a part of it's a part of
healing.
It's a part of healing.
Because at that point, what else can you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you have to do it. A lot of people wonder why they haven't gotten over a breakup. And the thing is, when you break up with someone, first of all, depending on how long you were with that person, there's a lot of cord cutting that needs to happen because there's a soul tie there.
A major soul, depending on the length of the relationship.
So you've got to remember that, and then you've got to remember you were building a life with someone.
Yeah.
So in order for you to move on and have healthy relationships, in order just to get through your day, even if that person never apologized, you do have to go through, I forgive that person. And forgiveness for me looks like deleting their number, blocking their social media, whatever that looks like.
Exactly.
But forgiveness is that inner conversation between you and yourself, really.
Yeah, pretty much. And trying to figure out, okay, based upon, let's say this couple was going out for 5 years.
Yeah.
Based upon those 5 years, whatever he or she did to you, you weigh it. Okay, was he or she good? Had more good in this relationship, more than bad, or is what this person did to me just making all those other 5 years a complete waste of my time? Like, if this guy or this guy or girl, if they were cheating on you for the entire relationship, best thing for you to do probably at this point is to just forgive and move on and cut the cord.
Yeah.
But once again, like you were saying before, Car, it's up to that individual to have that inner conversation to see what is better for me right now. If it were me, I would say, you know what, it's been fun. But I think that this is where this train stops. This is where the plane says you may now exit, get out of your seat, exit, have a nice day.
Yeah.
That's where I stand. You know, because you have to, as selfish as it sounds, you have to put yourself first in a lot of situations. And when it comes to being like cheated on, violated, stuff like that, I'm sorry. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing me, and I forgive you, and I forget you.
And that's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is choosing you. And again, I just want to bring up that post, forgive to move forward. Forgive to heal. Forgive to trust. Forgive so that that person can know that they need to do things differently.
That one especially is really good. Because people may think that, oh, well, you forgave them. They're not going to learn from their mistake. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
You'll be very surprised.
You'll be very surprised. That forgiveness makes them say, oh my gosh.
I've witnessed people say, you know what, they forgave me for what I did, and now I know that what I did, it was horrible, and I'm actually blessed that they forgave me, and I'm going to do my best to not do what I did again.
Isn't that crazy?
It actually helped.
It does.
Yes.
It gets crazy how your bravery to say I forgive you actually makes that person step back and say, oh my gosh, whoa, I need to work on me.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't the yelling and the screaming and saying it's your fault. That's not what changed them.
That's not what changed them.
But what changed them was you forgiving the person.
Insane. I know, right? That's creepy.
You see?
But it's true. That's so amazing.
And
sorry, yes.
No, and of course, you can forgive so that you can close a chapter and move on to another one without speaking to that person again. And as sad as that sounds, again, sometimes personal growth means leaving people or things behind. We've all had to do that.
We've all had to be. We've all walked that road.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember times where people have written me long notes and text messages, and like when I went through my whole layoff experience. People wrote long messages over, and I was like, it's okay, I forgive you. Business is business, and
you moved on.
And I moved on. And if I see that person on the street or any of these people on the street, I have no issue with saying, hey, how are you? That's great. Say hi to your family for me. Wish you all the best. Because I have moved on.
That's it. Like we were talking about prior to, this is so high school, but something that I loved at the time. I don't love it anymore, but at the time I loved it, and it was stolen from me. And you grow up, you're like, you know what, that person did something that was downright wrong.
Yeah.
But I forgive them. Do I ever want to see them again? No. But I don't wish them ill or anything like that.
Right.
If I happen to see them walking down the street and they recognize me and say, hey, I'll happily say hey. Because what are you going to do? What's done is already done.
Yeah.
You can't go and well, you know, you hurt me 10 years ago because you did this and da 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 da. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
That doesn't, you have to set yourself free.
Yeah.
And no matter how long the email, no matter how many times the person's like, oh, you know, da 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 da, whatever hogwash they want to throw, you have to be the bigger person eventually and just say, you know what, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Move on. You're better than that. You're bigger than that situation. You're better than that. You got things to do. You got people to see. You got businesses to grow. You don't have time to sit there with the pettiness.
Yeah.
You got to move on.
The last thing I want to kind of give before we end our chat here is a question. When you forgive, what does it bring you? How do you feel?
You know what? And this smile is real. When I forgive, I actually feel light. Like I feel like a burden's lifted. Like it's funny. No matter how, I don't care what kind of weights people use in the gym, nothing is more heavier than carrying a burden of something that you betrayal. Nothing is heavier than that. You can't get out of bed. You can't eat. You can't sleep. You can't focus. Being betrayed is one of the most horrendous things a human being can go through.
Yeah.
It sucks. But when you forgive, and no matter which one of the things you want to choose, whether you forgive and forget, or forgive and give you a second chance, whatever you want to, whatever road you want to go down, when you forgive, I feel lifted. I feel like a humongous burden has been taken off my back, and I feel like, okay, I can breathe again.
Yeah.
I can stand tall again.
Yeah. And
I can just go forward with my life. I'm kind of silly because for me, forgiveness means, depending on what the person did. If it's something petty, then it's like, yo, we're still cool. But if it's something that's really like, wow, like your character and stuff like that, that's when I'm like, okay, I forgive you and I forget you. And I think I feel even more stronger than letting go of that person, because they weren't, that person was, they served their purpose, and it's time for me to let them go.
Yeah.
And I move on. But what about you? How do you feel once you forgive someone for something that hurts you?
Yeah. I feel free, and I feel like the possibilities are endless.
That's cool.
And I feel like things have been made right.
Oh,
it just feels
absolutely
right.
Yeah.
It just feels freeing to not be tied down and giving energy to something negative.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a positive place when I decided to forgive. And I hope that this conversation helps everyone who is listening to understand that importance of being okay with forgiving, even when you don't get that apology, even when the apology sucks. Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't even know how to say I am sorry.
Saying I'm sorry takes you gotta remove the ego, you gotta remove the pride, and a lot of people don't want to do that.
So don't be held down by what other people cannot do. Be empowered and know that forgiveness is for you more than anyone else.
Woo! That's it, girl. There's power in forgiveness.
There's power in forgiveness, and it's actually a strength. And I hope that today's podcast definitely just showed you that you can take control. You can empower yourself by forgiving those that have hurt you or made you feel away. Know that there's so much growth after forgiveness.
Go ahead and find us on all social media accounts. We have Twitter, we have Pinterest, we have Facebook, but mainly go on our IG, Bright Mindset Project. When you go there, you'll see clips of our videos. We can leave inspirational quotes as well, just to uplift you and give you some sunshine in these beautiful days. And while you're here, you might as well just click the subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment down below. Forgiveness is not the easiest, but as we were saying, it is so necessary. And we hope that this video, this conversation, I should say rather, has really opened your eyes to even the possibility of getting the conversation going.
Thank you so much for watching us, and we will see you in the next video.
We love you. Take care. Bye.